Walk out Savannah Boom Airport to get your taxi, and it's bang! And that's the first time you get the Thailand smell as well, and it's like, yeah, this is it. Here I am. I'm here now.
Welcome to Soy Cowboy.
Soy Cowboy, yes.
I'm just coming to a bar. It's called the Oasis.
Bad Badge and I were definitely troubleshooting up until like the 30 seconds to go.
More like 15, 20 seconds. I'm loading Chrome, I was trying to do this, and then my wife just come up and said, is this what you need?
I'm a big fan of your wife now.
Oh, that's
so
good. She heard that.
Becky on the channel, she's laughing in the green room, I see her. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Richard Travel Saturday Live Show. It's another great show today. I'm pumped for this. We have some returning guests coming back today, and Damien from Alpha Interactions. And we have a returning guest as well, Tony from Bad Badger, retired in Thailand. So I'm pumped for this, man, because I felt like last time that we had Damien on, we didn't give him his full time. He was troubleshooting, and I had to kind of call it at the half hour. But in looking at the replay, I think he only got like 15, 20 minutes. So I got so many comments from people saying, you got to have him back. You just scratched the surface. That guest is great. So he's back today. So I'm pumped to have him back. So he'll be joining us shortly. So for those of you that might be new to the channel, my channel is devoted to tips and tools for your next Thailand trip. Now, when that next trip is happening, I don't know. I'm hoping it's going to be 2021. But maybe I'll pull Damien for his opinion on that, because I got to tell you, I feel like the return to Thailand is less dependent on Thailand letting us in and more with our home countries getting the situation under control. So, you know, America is in the news for all the wrong reasons right now. So I feel like we got to get things under control or put a ban on talking about the situation so that some of us can start getting back to Thailand. So I'm excited about that. So for those of you that might not know, I know a lot of people that join the live streams just join for the live streams. So if you don't know, I actually have a recorded, edited video series called Richard Returns to Thailand. And it basically recaps my trip to Thailand in February of this year after not going for about 10 months. So I had a change in jobs in America. You got to build up vacation time. And I had to do all that before I could kind of get back to Thailand. So after being away for almost a year, I came back to Thailand just as the situation was kicking off in Thailand. So it was sort of an interesting time for me because things were starting to kind of slow up a little bit. There were masks starting to be worn. So check out that series if you're into that kind of thing. I have 9 parts available. I'm working on the final one, part 10. But some great news today to celebrate. In addition to having some great guests on, we have some celebrations to celebrate. And one of them is, we have 100,000 views on this channel. So in about 5 months, we've amassed 100,000 views. Thank you to all of you for watching those videos. And then the cherry on top of that one is part 9, Pattaya Perfect, is my first video to hit 10,000 views. So yes. So thank you so much for that. Everyone that watched that video just crossed over 10,000, and I'm pumped about that. And for larger YouTube channels out there, maybe they get 100,000 views in a month or 100,000 views in a day. But I feel like when I talk to these larger channels, these people that I'm friends with, they say they wish that they would have celebrated the minor milestones. So I'm doing that today. So 100,000 views, thank you. 2,000 subscribers, which is great. I never thought I'd get to 2,000 in 5-6 months. 1,000 was a goal of mine for the first year. I was hoping to hit 1,000 in a year, and just totally blown away my expectations. So I appreciate everyone that's kind of watched that. But I wanted to call out a couple people because it's such a great momentous occasion today. So special thanks. First of all, these people would tell me not to call them out. So my first call out is to Tommy J. So Tommy J, thank you for motivating me to always try and make each video better. So he's definitely gives me some constructive criticism. So I appreciate that very much. So thank you, Tommy J. Hats off to you, hat tip to you. Maggie's Journey. So Maggie's Journey for her support on the live show. She was one of the first guests that I had on the Saturday live show. I thank her for that, for coming on and trusting in the process, that it was going to be a fun experience. And then also for helping with some of the parts on the Richard Returns video series. She was very helpful in helping me pronounce the Thai words correctly. There were a couple that I had wrong, and I would have been a little embarrassed if I posted the video pronouncing some of those words wrong. So she's been a tremendous help for me with regards to Thai language and facts and figures around Thailand. So thank you, Maggie from Maggie's Journey. Thailand Vloggers. So this guy is great. So I got to really take a minute out here to thank Thailand Vloggers, because he's been promoting my channel since I had 200 subscribers. Now I currently have 2,000. So he's really become a true partner of the channel. I feel like any success that I've had is due to him. So I want to share that success with him. He's been a tremendous partner in the channel, not only promoting the videos, but also coming on the live streams and then going live from different locations in Bangkok and around Thailand. So just wanted to call him out because he's been a great partner of the channel. And then last but not least, all the moderators, thank you. So you guys rock, because I got to tell you, doing these live shows is difficult. I have a lot of different things going on, the green screen, the banner you're seeing there, comments. They allow me to focus on the guest and the live show, just have a good time. So I want to call out some of the key moderators. I've already thanked Tommy J, Robert Mack in Asia, thank you. Peter Hopkins, if you're in the chat today, thank you. Robert Nakata, thank you. Stuck in Florida, Day State Fox, Go More Hike, Mr. Mitch, Zcon, all you guys, thank you so much for running a tight ship. I really appreciate that. So that is great. So let me now get off that spiel. Let me go to the comments and see all the awesome people we got on. I'm going to try to do a better job of staying in the chat. One of the constructive criticisms is like, hey, you're ignoring a lot of the comments in the chat. So I'm going to try to do a better job of that. So in love with Thailand, hey, man, welcome to the live stream. There's Robert Mack saying hello to everyone. Robert Mack, Bad Badger in Thailand, has a great channel. So I would say check out his channel, because the last report I did, he had 970 subscribers. That magic mark is 1,000, where Bad Badger Retired in Thailand can monetize. So I'm going to do something different today. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe to his channel. I'm going to ask you to stay with me, listen to the interview. We'll talk about some of the videos, and I'll leave it to your discretion if you'd like to subscribe or not. I feel like it's a great channel. It's a story about someone who's come over with his wife and retired in Thailand from the UK, and I'd love to talk to him about that, and I'm sure you'll see some great little tips and tricks that he may have for us. So Kevin Chang Noi, Little Elephant, saying hello to everyone. Tommy J, hello to you, sir. Robert Mack, Kevin Chang Noi, everyone kind of talking amongst themselves. There we go. We got the legend there, Day State Fox. Hello, everyone. You scroll down here a little bit, make sure Zcon, hey, how you doing? Good to have you on here. Mr. Mitch, there he is. Got the A-team in the house today. I appreciate that. And Triple T, man. Triple T, hats off to you, sir. You've been a tremendous help to the channel as well. So thank you for coming on my live shows literally at a moment's notice. So I've had a couple of times where I had to call in a favor from Thomas, and he definitely came on. He dropped everything and came on a couple times. So hats off to you, man. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person at your bar and becoming a huge supporter of yours there. So like I told you, you may have to order more alcohol for my trip out there because I'm going to drink it all. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And thank you for all your help, man. I appreciate that. Go More Hike came in there. He liked the intro. Thank you for liking the intro. You know, I prefer to spend time working on new intros rather than just drinking alcohol on a Friday night. So it kind of keeps me honest. And I really like editing videos. So the Richard Returns series of videos is a little more serious. It's nice just kind of blow off some steam and make some cool edits and put some fun music in there. So thanks for liking that. Teacher Thomas saying cheers to everyone. And love with Thailand. Yes, I love the intro a lot. Makes you miss Thailand even more. Well, that's good. All right, cool. So hopefully we'll all get back there. Everyone kind of talking amongst themselves. There's Maggie's Journey. Maggie from Maggie's Journey. Hello, welcome to the live stream. And thank you again, Maggie, for all your help and support. I appreciate that very much. Maggie's got a great channel. She just finished a live stream earlier. I was unfortunately up at 4:30 in the morning, my time, and her live stream had just kicked off. So her father's having a birthday today, and she was celebrating that on her live stream. So if you get a chance, go check out the replay. That's a great one. See, making sure we don't got anything I'm missing. Hey, Julian's in the house. Hey, Julian, how you doing, man? Hope you're doing great, Richard. I am doing great, man. Thank you for all your help and support. So Julian's been helpful in allowing me to figure out little tips and tricks for you know, getting your video to rank a little bit higher in the search. And you know, I thought I knew all this kind of stuff, but he knows a lot of little tips and tricks around little gotchas you want to avoid on YouTube. So thank you for all your help there. Didn't have much time talking in the evening, was busy with my family. Yeah, sometimes that happens on the live streams. You get busy with other stuff. Great. Everyone's saying they've got Bad Badger retired in Thailand. We're talking to him a little bit later. Everyone is going to get their time today. So I am not cutting anyone short. So guys, you might want to get like your favorite beverage in front of you because this is going to be an epic live stream. Julian saying hello to Scott and everyone. Great. Perfect. So I'll come back to a couple of these later. Got a lot of great people in the chat. Please, if you get a chance, give me a thumbs up. That helps the YouTube algorithm and allows more people to check out the live stream. Douglas Williams, hello, old friend. Great to see you live. Hey, thanks for coming on, man. Douglas has been a great supporter of the Richard Returns series with some great comments, so I appreciate all of those. Chris Travels, Richard, are you live in my mother's favorite American city, SF? Ah, that's awesome. Great, good to hear. Hey, it's gonna be a nice day in the city today. So looking forward to that. Papa Jib, excellent live stream. You're taking over. Nice green screen. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely take pride in mixing up the green screens each week. So thanks for noticing. I don't want to be like that boring green screen with the same beach in the background with the palm tree on the side. You got to mix it up a little bit here, guys. Make it interesting. Cool. So I'm going to pause all the comments because they're coming in thick and fast, but keep them coming. And we're going to be introducing my first guest, which is Damien from the YouTube channel Alpha Interactions. Now, we had Damien on once before, and he gave us some great advice on how to live your best life. We're going to be talking to him a little bit more in detail because I got some issues. It's all about me today. I got questions for him because I got issues, man. This lockdown, it's driving me crazy. I got nothing to look forward to but these live streams. So we're going to talk to him about that today. And I want to welcome him into the live stream. Let me see if we got anything else I got to do here. I think we're good. So guys, help me welcome Damien into the Saturday live show. Damien, how's your audio today, buddy?
Very good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you well.
I can hear you clear, loud and clear.
So the $1 million question, Damien, is number one, did you have trouble getting into the live stream today? Any issues you want to talk about?
No, I washed my hands and I did my push-ups before I came in, dude. So, so
there we go. There we go. So I washed my hands a couple times, so I think I'm good there. I did not do any push-ups because, so my reason for not doing push-ups is, guess what, Damien? My gym is opening up on Wednesday. Reopening. Yes.
Phenomenal.
So I'm excited about that. We have to actually book a reservation ahead of time, but I get to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I don't think it'll be too crowded. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to losing 25 pounds, man.
There's a goal, five a month.
Great. So for those people that aren't familiar with your channel and what you're doing, do you want to kind of introduce yourself and tell people what your channel is focused on?
Yeah, my channel basically is a personal development channel. In regards to men becoming more in everything, in all aspects of their life, really, like in regards to work, business, travel, dating advice, and yeah, those are the kind of segments that I target, on my channel. So I just come up with all these kind of theories and through my own life experiences now as well, like what would be going on in my everyday life, just say in business now, or a girl that I'd be dating at the time, if some problem came up, like I'd shoot a vlog on it and discuss it and what I feel would work and how to kind of resolve things, So that's what I basically do, So it's a bit different.
Yeah, but you've also written a book as well, right? So Go More Hikes
Yeah.
giving you a shout out there, The Pain Before the Game. What was the motivation behind writing that book?
Well, the motivation behind the book really was, number one anyway, was the suicide rate was so high where I live. It's actually one of the highest in the world. And I have a couple of friends that, I could see like they weren't content in life, they weren't happy. And, I started doing a bit of soul searching, but it was also my experiences as well, Richard, through my life. I was going around like a vessel at sea with no destination. I was just wandering, pondering every day. And really, I just wanted to discover, what was out there. I wanted to travel, but I never had the courage to do it because, our social belief here is to get married young and to have a few children, get a mortgage, work for a company for 40 years, retire, and that's it, So I wanted to step outside the usual paradigm that we're being fed, and just go do a bit of soul searching. So that's.
Yeah, I feel like that. So that really resonates for me because I'm hearing that over and over again lately. I don't know if I told the story recently about a friend of mine that went down to Mexico, like Cabo San Lucas. About 6 months ago, he had this trip and he loved it. He's one of those guys, he's a very hard worker, works 10 hours a day, went on a vacation for 10 days, came back, and he was posting on Facebook about, there's got to be an easier way. Maybe I can try to get a job where I can work remote and live somewhere else. This is crazy. And I watched him kind of fall back into his routine over the course of a month, so much so that he actually put down roots here in America, bought a house, got a dog, and I felt, and now he's unhappy. Yeah, now he's unhappy again. It's like the rat race. I'm not looking forward to this kind of thing. And I don't know. I just feel like there's a better way. And to your point, maybe you can go against the grain and do what makes you happy, right? So maybe you don't put down an anchor in your home country. You go out and travel and find a place that might suit you a little better.
Well, yeah, that's something, like I was sitting in my holiday resort in Pattaya one day. I was just sitting down by the pool. It was the middle of January. It was 32 degrees. The climate was unbelievable. I was after having a great night the night before, sipping on a pina colada, just feet were up. And I said to myself, this is where I want to be every January. This is where I want to be every winter. So I decided that I'd start my own business then when I got home, so that I would be in control of my own life and that I would crack my own whip. And I just, I kind of stood out of what I was doing. Then I stood away from my own job and I cut down to part-time hours. And then I started my own business because I knew this business would be a vessel for me to be able to travel. And this is what I wanted.
Do you feel like it's one? So with your own business, when you go to Thailand, do you find that it can operate without you? You have people that are working it, or do you kind of go on a hibernation mode for a while?
Well, it goes into hibernation mode, but I just keep it kind of tipping along nicely, that I keep my clients nice and happy. And, we've emergency call outs or whatever, and I have two staff that will be able to do that for me. But in the winter months then, I can just relax because I know they have it under control and off I go then. And it's just a great freedom, it's a great feeling of freedom just to be able to just down tools and off I go, so. And in the summer months, I work really long hours then, Richard, in the summer months, I really put down my head and get going, because I know the winter is going to come and, there's a saying there about the grasshopper, like he enjoys the summer, he jumps around inside the grass while the ant is working non-stop, for the winter, and that's what I am, I'm an ant.
That's great. I've actually never heard that before. I love that. That's awesome. That is great. But I got to tell you, so, and I don't know if people will agree with this, but I'm struggling with I think it's like borderline depression, Damien. Like it's nuts because I've always looked forward to going to my Thailand trips for 6 years now. I've always had sort of that mark on the calendar where I've actually gauged my fitness levels by my trip to Thailand because I know that in preparation for a 27-hour flight, you have to be in good shape. I've found that I've weathered that storm a little better when I'm in good shape, at a good weight, not overweight. Plus, I found in the hot weather in Thailand, if I'm 20 to 30 pounds overweight, I feel that heat a lot more. So getting in good shape has always been like my carrot. Hey, I have a Thailand trip coming up, and that hasn't happened for a long time now. So one thing I'm struggling with, especially with the gym being closed and us being in lockdown mode, we can't really do our usual routine. I mean, what kind of, opinion or recommendation would you have for me to kind of get back on a routine?
Well, Richard, the thing is, like, Thailand, for most guys that do visit regularly, is a massive goal. And the same myself as well. I drop a few pounds before I go to Thailand because, look, I just want to look a bit better. And especially because you're going to be wearing less clothes, and this is the way it is, So with me, like Richard, at the moment, none of us can predict what's going to happen. And that's the whole thing about this now, this whole, uncertainty that's out there, It's just, we're so everyone is so uncertain. We can't put our finger on it. We can't give ourselves a date, but all we can do is hope that it's going to change. So, like, I even said it to my dad yesterday. I was like, I still feel like I've Thailand booked for January, even though I don't, because I think that's the only way I'm getting through it, is like, yeah, it's booked. It's booked. I'm going regardless. When it snows, I'm gone. And
yeah,
but I'm not, like, but it's just this kind of positive thinking that I'm trying to just get through, because look, I had a dream during the week that I was teleported to Pattaya. How I did it, and I just landed there and I was walking around on my own. So it's just,
that sounds like a great dream. My dream last night was weird. I had a dream that I was working out of the gym again. I was thinking, how sad is my life that I had a dream about working out at the gym? And I actually woke up like, yeah, that was awesome.
It's the simple things. It's the simple things now at the moment that are just keeping us happy, But look, what I've been saying to myself now is, I'm saving a lot of money at the moment. So look, it's going to be double the amount of time the next time now, and double the amount of fun as well. So I'm using that as a motivation as well. That, I'm just working a bit harder now.
Douglas Williams is saying it's great to see you on, Damien, and this subject on the live stream. So I feel like it's an important subject. Like, we're all talking about when we're going to get back, this kind of thing, but no one's talking about what we're all kind of dealing with, which is just like this malaise of not knowing what's next. And I know that being in a routine is important. I'll tell you, one of the things that really has me looking at relocating to Thailand sooner than later, and not like a retirement thing, like very soon, is the fact that my routine used to consist of like an hour and a half run in the morning. But my city, San Francisco, has become so dangerous that before sunrise, you really don't want to go out there. Like, there's some undesirable characters out there. So that's taken away my wonderful run that I used to do to kind of keep my weight in check. And then at night, you can't really go out for a nighttime walk because the same thing applies. So I think a lot of us are kind of struggling with that. Are you kind of struggling with that yourself, Damien, like trying to get in a routine, or you have that locked in?
Yeah, we're on lockdown level 5 now as of Wednesday there, Richard, So that's why when I messaged you there yesterday, I was like, I was trying to complete a couple of projects because there's roadblocks with the police now, and that I had to get building materials dropped to 2 properties, and it was high intense pressure. Like, I was working into the dark, so I was just trying to get that done. But myself, Richard, I've been thinking that as well about retirement and Thailand as well, and I was even looking into teaching English in Thailand in a few years' time, just to move over and relocate, buy a condo and go from there then, I've been thinking about that because, look, there's only a certain amount that I can do here, and I'm going to get to a certain age and my energy levels are going to drop, and, I live a long, fulfilling, healthier life in Thailand, with the heat and regardless. And I just love it, like, because there's no judgment out there, Richard, even when I was first going there, I never felt once judged about anything I ever did, whereas when I'm here, you have to kind of drive a certain car, live in a certain area, go out with a certain looking girl. There's social peer pressure on us here in Europe, and when you go to Thailand, it's all just so cool, so kosher. You just do what you want, go where you want, eat when you want, sleep when you want. And, that's...
Yeah, I feel like that's key, like the no judgments thing. I tell that to people and they're like, yeah, no judgments. But it's really a real thing in Thailand, especially in Pattaya, like no judgments, do what you want. And I just love that. To kind of piggyback on your story around wanting to relocate there, like when you were there for the first couple of times, I had the same experience. I was actually sitting at the beer garden my first trip. I was enjoying a nice San Miguel Light with a girlfriend of mine. I remember saying to her, like, yeah, I think I'd like to retire here. I want to come back and live here full time. And she kind of chuckled and laughed. And it took me a little while to figure out like why that was so funny. But then I realized that everyone that comes over says that. And then they go back to their home country and kind of fall back into their routine. They tell themselves, well, that's not realistic. You know, I can't do that. I have to live here. And, you know, to your point earlier, buy that house, drive that car, get that girlfriend, get that wife. And I just feel like it's a slippery slope to mediocrity. And I think that there's more in your life that you can do. Do you kind of agree with that?
Yeah, and I feel a lot of people as well use shaming tactics as well. The fact that, you know, when you're going over to Thailand, that you're a sex tourist, you know. And like, Richard, when I go to Thailand, all right, there is women out there and things do happen out there, but I go there for the holiday. I just go there because, you know, the climate is so reliable and the people are so friendly, it's so cheap living. And, you know, I get lots of therapy done out there, Richard, you know, and whatnot. Like, and I'm happy there and I'm content there. So that's it for me. But people that are narrow-minded that don't know about it, which will use shaming tactics, you know, and that's what forces. I think that's what forces guys to kind of go off track a small bit with their idea and their focus of living there, is that they'll be condemned as a sex tourist or whatever people want to call it, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like, so first of all, Choo Choo Thomas has a great comment for you, saying Damien hit the nail on the head. Uncertainty is the problem and likely why many get depressed, not knowing if normal will return. I'll tell you, like, so one of the things, I totally agree with what you said about why people think you come over to Thailand. So we have a city in America that some people might be familiar with called Las Vegas, right? Now there's a ton of different things to do in Las Vegas, from what would be the equivalent to a go-go bar, to beer bars, to shows, to, you know, going to the salon, this kind of stuff. And people go there and they party and they drink at all hours, 24/7. And they'll post it on Facebook. Oh, I'm so drunk. I haven't slept in 3 days. Why'd I even get a hotel room? This kind of, and no one says to them like, what a waste. That person is crazy and they're no good, and typecast them as someone. And I feel like it's a double standard. I feel like Thailand, and especially like Pattaya, is known as like, oh, it's just, I can't believe you go there. But like all the boat tours leave from Pattaya. Like there's a beach there. Jom Tien is right there. There's great places to eat. So I just feel like it's unfair. What I was getting at is like, it's unfair that people judge us that go to Thailand, but then don't judge unfairly the people that go to Las Vegas. I feel like it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, you know, and I use Pattaya as a base for, like, I travel Southeast Asia, like, because, you know, you go on a tourist, you have to go on a tourist there, or a visa run, sorry. You go on a visa run, you know, so I go on visa runs to Laos, Vietnam, Malaysia, but I'll always keep my base in Pattaya. And I'll always come back there in the end because, you know, I feel most comfortable there and most, again, accepted, you know, and that, and everything that I want is in Pattaya for me.
Yeah.
So that's why I travel there, and I don't care what people say, and I just throw it over my shoulder, you know, whatever. Like, because people say, "Oh, Damien, you know, you're doing well for yourself. You know, you should meet someone," or you'd hear family members now say, "You know, why don't you meet a girl and get married and have a few kids?" Like, and I'm like, "Saw that." You know, what about me? I want to be happy, content, you know, and that's, I don't want to end up in a passionless marriage, like, or, you know, or something like that. Like, so I'm not being negative. I'm just thinking of myself, put myself first, you know.
Yeah, that's funny. I've heard a lot of people refer to, you know, the hustle and bustle here, especially in America and other countries, as the rat race. Have you heard that before? Like the rat race?
Rat race, yeah, we have that here as well.
Yeah, so I feel like the better term for that would be the rat trap, not the rat race. It's a trap, man. Yeah. It traps you in to working 10 hours a day, only taking your 7 to 14 days of vacation each year, and that you have to pay this amount of rent each month. And I feel like until you've experienced other countries, you don't know that there might be a better place out there for you. But Big Fat Bestie, welcome to the live stream. Says at Day State Fox,
he's a great chatter.
Winning, so I'm briefly out of my funk. That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. And then Johnny, there is something happening. Big Fat Bestie, where is Walter tonight? So Walter, that big cat that Bestie's always posting about. So good. Johnny just launched a new video too. I got to check that out a little bit later.
I've seen it this morning.
Yeah, was it a great one? All his videos are good though, you know?
Very good, very good. It was in Bangkok. Very good.
Ah, nice. Yeah, I saw that. I got to check that out today. Let's see. Thailand trend for Westerners used to be older men finding a fun retirement destination. I've noticed more younger men visiting Thailand, and they're checking out of this woke Western PC culture. And that kind of speaks to what you're talking about earlier, Damien. It's like people that are just looking for something more. They feel like they're just kind of spinning their wheels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I felt that as well when I was in my 20s, like that. I was in relationships with girls and I was living with them and I was doing everything for them. I was paying the bills, paying rent, you know, going to parties that I didn't want to go to, going to weddings, buying cars for girls. And then I wasn't thinking of myself. I wasn't content with my own life. And it was when I had a bust up with a girl and we broke up and I booked Thailand and I was nervous booking it, Richard, because like I never did anything for myself. And like 15 trips later, like, you know, that just says it all.
Yeah. So you've been there 15 times?
Yeah.
That's a good amount of time. Now, how much Thai do you speak? A little bit? Noi Thai?
I speak a little Thai. Yeah, I Pom Fang Thai took one. So
Yeah.
I listen to Thai listen how to speak Thai when I work, you know, because I wear
that's
headphones.
great.
And,
Yeah,
I
yeah. I found like that's helpful for me too. I like to see kind of the word, but then I noticed, like Damien, after a while, that the Thai English they use to spell out the words is sometimes inconsistent. You know, is it cop, crop, cop? You know, what is it? And I just kind of stopped looking at the English spelling and then focusing more on what you're doing now is like listening to the audio. I listen to headphones too, like these little 30-minute lessons.
I repeat listen as well, you know. I repeat listen, and it's good, you know, because you get used to the sounds, the masculine, the feminine, the nouns, and the adjectives, and you can kind of differentiate. But it's when people speak in Thai too, you just catch, you know, you could catch the noun or the verb in that's what I do in the sentence, and then you can respond like yang ne non or yang mai ne non or or whatever you need.
You know, it's so funny because I think it was the second or third trip in Thailand. I was sitting in a beer bar in Pattaya, and there was an American from Sacramento, which is just maybe an hour away from where I live here in San Francisco. And he was speaking perfect Thai to the Thai people there at the bar. And he was actually, his Thai was so next level that he was making jokes in Thai. He would say something in Thai and they would all laugh. And I was thinking, man, that's just like the dream for me is not only just be able to speak Thai, but make a joke.
I was sitting in a bar in Hua Hin and there was a guy my age came in and he started speaking fluent Thai and I just looked at him and went, I want to be you.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going home, I'm learning Thai, and I've been learning every day. Like, you know, it's hard now with work and you be tired and, you know, it's such a complex language, you know, and all the sounds but look, you know, I'll have something in my arm, or it's great. Then if you're on a date with a girl, they really do respect that you're trying to speak Thai, and they will help. They like if you say something wrong, they'll correct you, and they say no, my Thai, and then they'll correct you, you know.
And I feel like the epiphany I had when I really started like buckling down trying to learn Thai is when I found out there's essentially two languages. There's the male language and the female language. Like even just introducing yourself sounds totally different if a woman says it to you. I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous. I didn't know this was going to happen. You have to kind of learn two languages, I feel like. You know, talking to a man and then speaking to a lady, it sounds totally different words.
Yeah. It's a great tool to have in your armor, though, if you're traveling about. Like, it's so crucial, you know, because you can just listen to what people are saying and you're part of the culture and you're more accepted as well, especially when you go to a food stall and you could say, like, Gai, Kai Dao, Ped Nit Noi, you know, and just be able to say a couple of words, you know, and they do appreciate it, the Thais, when you do try it.
They do appreciate that. I feel like when I get on and talk to a motorbike driver, you know, like, hey, swadee kap, sabari mai kap, oh, kukuna kap, sabari kap, hey, rakata rai krap, okay, metro, hasepat. He'll say, oh, you know Thai? And then I always have to tell him, like, kotor krap, pom kojai pazatai nitnoi. Like, I just speak a little bit of Thai.
Yeah.
And yeah. But like to your point, they really appreciate that. Like you're making an effort to speak their language, and it comes over time, man. Like to your point, listening to it on headphones and then trying to put it in practice. I think that's a big thing too. You know,
I find that the mama songs and the older women in Thailand, or the older people, they really do. They just, you know, they say "Concha lad mak," you know, and
yeah.
You know,
yeah, I feel like the word you don't want to hear is I heard like Bhagwan, which means like smooth talker.
Sweet
Yeah.
mouth,
Oh,
sweet mouth, yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. So funny. Maggie's saying we have same feeling when we see Thais are very good in English. Yeah. And so Maggie had an interesting story. I don't know if you ever heard this story about Maggie, Damien. So it's around like, so when she was younger, she would actually sneak into the school on the weekends through like not a broken window, but like an unlocked window. She probably left it unlocked herself, but she would actually sneak in and then figure out how to get the computer up and running and then start studying English on the weekends. Like how, like that's
how
next
determined.
level. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd sneak into a school on the weekend to learn Thai, but you know, but like her English is next level. So she's good at like reading Thai and speaking Thai, and that's amazing to me. Like I feel like we should all be able to speak at least 2 languages. In America, people are pretty lazy with the languages. I don't know if it's the same where you are.
Yeah, Ireland are the same. You know, we can have a lot of slang and grammar. It's tough, you know. But if I'd probably be one of the only people in my city to be able to speak Thai. Well, there's obviously a few people like, but of my friends, they just look at me bizarrely. I was in a Thai restaurant one night and I just ordered in Thai and they were like, huh?
Yeah, and I don't know if you've had this problem. Like Day State Fox has a funny comment. When he was in Portugal the other day, he spoke Thai to a waitress by accident. So I find that funny because I don't know if you've had this, because when you go to Thailand, you stay for a longer duration. When I've stayed for a longer duration and come back to America, like say I'm in the supermarket checkout and they say, hey, all right, see you next time. Oh, Kurkornakap. Oh, shit. I'm back in America. I can't speak Thai. And I just like by habit.
That happened to me in the gas station. I was after just getting off the plane and I just have to fill up my car. And I went to pay and I was like, Kopko Makap. And he was like,
yeah.
So
and I see. So you've mastered the na. You got the na. I was talking to Shine Bright Like Tita about that. The na, like next level Thai. That's like the slang Thai, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. It takes so you probably had some Thai friends that kind of helped you with that.
Oh yeah, of course. You know. Yeah.
Let's see here. So He-Man says I can speak American and Canadian, Richard. Does that count? 2 languages. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And Yahoo has it at number 10 on the retirement list. Robert Hinn saying hello to Robert Nakata. Everyone there. Yeah, it's very interesting to me. You know, I find like, so your videos are pretty inspirational because I feel like it keeps everyone on track. Speaks about mental health, keeping your mind and your body healthy. Do you feel like that's somewhat the secret in life, is keeping your body in shape will then keep your mind in shape?
Yeah, well, I think the mind is, well, look, it's mind over matter, like, but healthy body, healthy mind, that's a really good saying, you know. But I think just having goals, Richard, is crucial. Health, fitness, life, dating goals, and even retirement goals. Having goals are crucial because your goals will drag you through a day that isn't going so well. Like, it'll drag you through gallant times. And I find that's very, very important, like to set small goals. And I have a diary and I make sure that like I check my diary every night before I go to bed. And then I get up in the morning, I check my diary again. And, you know, you're constantly working to a diary and working to a schedule. And when you're working to a schedule with your life, if it's even going shopping now for food or anything, just have that down as a list on your schedule. You know, it's very hard to go off track then, Richard, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And that's why I finally discovered on the iPhone the notepad, where you can like put in notes and stuff like that. And you can get pretty elaborate with the notepad, with the notes in the phone. I love that because, you know, I'll look back on certain goals that I have around, you know, Thailand, what I want to do, how much money I want to have when I go back there, this kind of thing. And I feel like it's helpful to kind of take a look at those. And I'll actually sometimes prefer to go over my notes on that than watch something on TV. I'll get excited about, I got to review those notes again. So, that kind of gets me inspired to do things.
And journaling as well, no, Richard, having a life journal, you know, keeping track of your thoughts, feelings and emotions are very important. So I keep a journal, and I was only reading my journal there from last year, and I made a quick entry when I was in Bangkok airport after coming back from Laos, and I was just writing about like the sounds, the smells, you know, how I was feeling. I was looking forward to getting back to Pattaya. I had a month left of my travel, and you know, it's nice too to be able to reflect but also plan ahead. And I do that as well, a bit of journaling, you know. So
yeah, I love that about the sights and smells. I know Tom from Big Fat Bestie, I put the little blurb in the intro about that. Like he just like hit it nail on the head with the
Boom.
smells. Yeah, the boom. Because man, we all just look forward to that. And I never really gave it much thought until he verbalized it. Like, wow, okay, this actually is a thing. I thought it was just me, right? But everyone kind of gets it. Like it's so curious. And you talked about like writing down stuff on your journal, like when you're leaving the country. So one thing I found, I kind of broached this a little bit on the part 9, Pattaya Perfect, is around when you get to the end of your trip, you're not in a good place in your mind. At least I get a little angry. It's not just like sad. I get like a little upset. Like I'm mad that I have to go back to what I'm calling the rat trap, the rat race. So I actually made a note in my journal saying, so the last night of the trip probably shouldn't go out because I find like I'm not in a good mood. Yeah. So are you the same way?
I stay in my room the last night. I make sure I book my flight early for the next day because I start to detach emotionally from the day. Yeah. And I think it's just the preparation, and it's just there's a long flight ahead as well. Like, and that's the toughest part of it, is just going through the airports, like, and the time zone, and going back to the colder weather, and you've all your bills to face when you get back, and reality is going to hit you. So.
Yeah, that's so true. And I've actually gotten to the point where I'll actually turn off the notifications on my Facebook Messenger and my line, so that when I get to the airport, that's like my big thing I do when I'm waiting. It's like, all right, turn off notifications, because I don't want to hear from anyone for a couple of days. I have to kind of go back in to that different mode, right?
Isolation. Yeah, and I kind of stay at home for a few days then, Richard, and just do a bit of cooking, watch a few movies, and try to get a bit of sleep, and then get back to normal then again,
Yeah, the jet lag is rough coming back for sure. So, free flying Asian. That's like a tongue twister, man. Say that 3 times fast. How does one get through emotionally when a dream come through to get to Thailand just before the situation? Got a job, lost job, have to face reality and leave Thailand after only 10 months. That's kind of a lot of questions in one. You want to take that on at all? One of those?
Yeah, I think it's very unfortunate that he actually. Because what's the chances of this pandemic or this situation going out of control? And, it's just one of those things, nobody could predict that when they were moving to Thailand, unfortunately for him, that there's going to be no work out there or whatever, it's just one of those things. He's just got to deal with it. He's going to regroup.
Yeah, Rusty Spygoat asking, what are some of my goals? Well, I think what I found just through my travel internationally is one of my biggest goals is just to be happy on a day-to-day basis. So I do what makes me happy. I was thinking about this last night. I posted the new intro for the live show today, and I was thinking, people probably think I'm crazy. Like every week I do this new intro, but you know what? I enjoy doing it. Like I enjoy editing videos and finding the right song to put in there. And it's like you got to live in the moment. So I'd rather do something like that than watch TV and drink beer or something like that. So yeah, I feel like, so my goal is just to be happy, be healthy, and live a happy life. I mean, what are some of your goals, Damien?
Well, I think exact same, which would like living a happy, healthy life as well, being content every day. And, just hopefully, that I'll be able to get out and retire maybe in Thailand, that'll be one of the big ones for me now as well. Being able to live abroad when I'm older, because I don't think where I'm living will be very suited. It's not very suited for older people, even though now the state does take care of them. But, I actually I don't want to stop working. If I move to Thailand, I'd like to work even as a teacher, or something, like have a small business just to keep myself going. Because I think when you retire and then you're at home, you're watching the TV every day, the days get very long. Yeah. And people start to give up. I think it's when we retire. What's the debt rate after retirement? It's like 5 years or 7 years or something. For America, so that's a great point. So in America, after retirement, people live an average of 7 years. Yeah, 5 to 7 years. That's a damn shame after working for 65 years, right? So don't give up work, So that's why we're saying if we move to a hotter climate where things are a bit more slow paced and you're in more control, well then anyone could run a business. And I think that's the biggest thing. So I'll be talking to Bad Badger, retired in Thailand, about that, because I think he gets it. So it's all about like living your best life where it makes sense, right? So I'm going to be talking to him about that in a couple minutes, but we're kind of coming to the end of our time, Damien. Half hour goes by quick, huh? But I just want to say, everyone, please go to Alpha Interactions if you like the conversation that we had today,
consider subscribing to his channel. He's got some great videos on there as well. So I would say just like some really heartfelt messages that you have there, Damien. You're doing a great job.
Thanks very much, Richard.
Appreciate it, man. So I'm sure we'll be talking to you again because I got so many messages from guys saying, have him back, have him back.
Wash your hands, guys. Do your push-ups. And hit the like button as well for Richard now today, guys. And subscribe.
I appreciate that, my friend. As always, nice having you on the show. Thank you for coming.
Cheers, dude. Thank you.
Great. That was a great conversation. He's really got it right with regards to like mental health, physical health, that kind of stuff. But I feel like it's going to be a great transition into talking to Bad Badger retired in Thailand. You know, I've watched so many of his videos. There was one that I posted on the Facebook group, and we do have a Richard Travel Facebook group, guys. So please go in there and just join that because I post a lot of great videos. He has like a 2.5 minute video where it's him kind of driving around, doing things in Thailand. It's almost like a channel trailer, right? But man, just you could sense the happiness coming out of him. Like is happy where he is. So I want to talk to him today about why did you choose to retire in Thailand, and were people giving you grief? Like, hey, you're crazy to do that. You should stay here, and this is what you're supposed to do. So we're going to be talking to him about that. So I want to bring on what's becoming to be a good friend of mine, Tony Bad Badger retired in Thailand, and I'll bring him on now. Hey,
hi.
How you doing?
Good. I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah, your audio sounds good. No technical glitches today. I feel like you got right on.
Well, wifey did help me out again, so I got a new phone, and I still couldn't get it done. So I had her phone originally set up, and then she took my phone away. Then she come back and she went, "Here, same again." She sorted it out for me.
So
But
the
we're
question,
here.
so I don't want to put you on the spot, but I am curious because I felt like I should have at least said hello to your wife. Can I say hello to her today? Or she not want to be on camera? I totally respect that.
Lisa, she's coming. Lisa, wait a minute.
Like, okay, yeah, take your time. I feel like she's on a lot of his videos. I wanted to say hi to her. She's kind of a celebrity in my eyes because she's on a lot of his videos as he's kind of touring around the south of Thailand there, which is where he is. So it'd be nice kind of just say hello to Lisa for once. But we'll see if he can get her on camera. Sometimes, it's not a good time for people to come on. So we'll see how it is. Hey, there she is. Hello. Hi. Nice to meet you. Want to just say hello and thank you for all of your help in getting Tony going on the live show.
Yeah, get in there.
That's great. So, hey, I want to talk to you about a couple of things today that we didn't talk about last time.
Okay.
First of all is, you chose to move from the UK to Thailand, right?
Yeah.
That was, what, 9 years ago that you did that?
February next year will be the start of our 10th year.
So what was that like? I mean, did you just make a decision overnight that you wanted to retire in Thailand, or was it a longer process where you thought about it over the years?
For me, I'd been here. The first time I came was in 1999 and 2000, backpacked with a friend of mine. And then I'd be coming for holidays and bits and bobs, do a lot of diving, as you know. I don't do so much now. But and then when I got an opportunity to get away from work early, I came back in 2010 for a month's holiday on my own, and then to do my dive master, my PADI dive master. And then I came back to the UK, and I said to Lisa, and then when I came back to the UK, I found that I could get away from work early. And so Lisa said, well, and I said I wanted to really go to Spain is normally on most people's books to retire to, but things were getting more expensive in Europe. And then I said, well, how about Thailand? I love it there. And so I literally was back in the UK for about 6 or 7 days, and then we went back. I took Lisa back with me for a couple of weeks to see if she liked it, and she did. So the rest is history, really. And then we just it took me a year to get away from work, and then we literally sold everything, and we just moved to Thailand. with 2 dive backpacks, a few t-shirts and shorts, and that's it. That's all we have.
I love that, because the experienced travelers that I talk to, just like yourself, would give me the advice that, Richard, get rid of everything. Just come over with 1 or 2 suitcases, and that's it. And, you know, some people here in America, they'd say, that's nuts. I got to bring this. I got to bring that. I got to bring this. But what I would say back to them is, when you go on vacation for a week or 2 weeks, are you sitting there on your vacation saying, man, I really miss that couch that I have. I really miss that TV. I really miss that suit and those dress shoes I have. You don't. You have everything you need on that vacation in that suitcase. So the same should be for your retirement when you're moving internationally. Is that kind of how you look at it?
Yeah, kind of. Most probably, you know, when we came over, you learn as the process goes on. And I know now I sold both our cars, obviously, to come here. And I know now you could actually bring your car with you and pay no duty tax on it. So I would have most probably done that. But again, saying that, in hindsight, selling everything and moving is quite liberating, to be honest with you. Thinking that all you've got is, you know, your dive gear and a few bits to put on your back, and obviously, like, an iPod just for your music and shit like that. But
yeah,
I think it actually adds to the experience. I mean, I understand people, if they got a property back in their home country, they can rent it out, and that's an income for them. Obviously, financially, that makes sense. But we just, you know, everyone has a different story. Not 2 people's journeys are the same, and there's a lot of things that people wouldn't do in Thailand that other people have done. And for me, it's all about what makes you happy, and if it's right for you, then follow it, and don't let anybody tell you that you're doing anything wrong, because you're not. If you're doing it for you and it makes you happy, how can you not do it?
I didn't want to cut you off there, because I felt like that line is going in my next intro. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. But I want to double click into that. But first of all, Alpha Interactions, thank you for your super chat. I appreciate that. So this is what you have to look forward to. Now you have what, 30? So thank you, Alpha Interactions. Appreciate that. That is awesome, stellar. Now, when I last checked your channel, you had 970 subscribers. Have you checked today?
I will tell you right now, hot off the press.
I want to get to an update.
971.
971. So I would just say, you know, I'm not going to make anyone subscribe to your channel, but I would say you have a lot of great information on your channel, specifically around, like, so what do you want to do when you retire? One thing you chose not to do is just come over and lounge on the beach all day, because that could be unhealthy. That's a slippery slope. You start drinking alcohol, you get in some unhealthy lifestyles. You have some passions like diving, and then the YouTube channel, I feel, is a great way to kind of show all of us around. Is that what you recommend if you come to Thailand? Find a passion, find a hobby, something to do?
Yeah, I would say for me, I mean, I've always done scuba diving. It's just that I took it to a next level before I came, which the dive master is the first professional PADI qualification. And then from there, I done an underwater videography course through BZAC, British Sub Aqua Club. And I wanted to pursue that. That is sort of how my channel sort of really, not really started, but how I started to put the videos up for my grandchildren and our kids, obviously. And that never really took off. I think I said to Scott, Teacher Thomas Thailand, that, you know, about, you know, your music, your copyright, your stuff like that. And I didn't know where to go, where to find it. So it never really sort of took off. But I never opened it to start the YouTube thing off. I just wanted somewhere to put my videos so my children and my grandchildren could just go on, click on it and watch what their, you know, nan and granddad are doing. And then from that, when I moved here to Panga City, I'm about 5 minutes from it. I lived on Koh Tao for 5 years, where I've done a lot of diving. When we moved here, that's when I really started doing YouTubing as a hobby, and it's still a hobby. I love doing it. But getting back to your question, Richard, sorry, I digressed a little bit there.
No, it's great.
Yeah, if there's always something you've wanted to do, then it's a great opportunity to follow that passion, you know. And that's where mine started. You need to do something, because it can. It's a slippery slope if you start drinking in the bars in the evenings, and that's for me. I would say if people want to do that, then hey, you know, again, everybody shouldn't be living in people's lives. You should lead your own life. If you want to do what makes you happy, and then do what makes you happy. But for me, you know, I like a cold beer like we all do, in moderation. I used to drink a lot more, hence the bad badger, than I do now. But yeah, just anything you've wanted to do, just follow it, really. There's so much you can do online now to learn and stuff. So follow your passion, do something that you've always wanted to do, and you've got all the time in the world to do it.
I gotta tell you, so there's a funny comment, I can't avoid it. I was thinking about this is inappropriate, but I felt like, Johnny, there is something happening, says it's the bald badger, not the bad badger. I'm sure you've heard that before. Johnny's always making jokes.
Oh, I know, absolutely. Johnny, that's a typo. You put an L in there, and you put an L instead of bad. Yeah.
It's so awesome. But I feel like I get the sense that you're happy. And I'm wondering, like, if people that might have been against you moving to Thailand thought you were crazy, have they come around and said, hey, I think you're right?
I think I didn't really have any like people telling me that I was crazy, I was mad and everything. They just wish you all the best. And you know, people never, a lot of people aren't honest. They'll say, oh, I wish you all the best, but in the background, the cogs are going around and thinking, oh, he's crazy, he's this, he's that. You get the feeling that people think, you know, what you're doing is totally crazy. But again, like I say, you know, you've got to live your life. You've got to live what you want to do. This is one chance. And I've considered myself very, very fortunate that I could get away from work early. And actually, I was about 52, 53 when I came. And I consider myself very lucky to do it early, really. And I've got no regrets at all. None at all. You shouldn't have. I'd rather regret doing something than regret not doing it.
That's a great way to look at things. So I think you're up to 975 now. So people are kind of coming over. For those that might not be familiar with your channel, how would you describe the videos on there? It's sort of day in the life of you. I know that you have a lot of videos about the house that you built, but how would you best describe kind of the videos you have on there?
Well, it is our day-to-day living, really. It's just our life, our progression, our journey since we moved really to Panga, the main here on the mainland from the islands. It's just our day-to-day, like, you know, an expat couple that have moved here, and some of it's maybe boring to people, but this is my channel and this is what it is. I'm not gonna put things on there that isn't related to me. Originally, there was a lot of stuff in there from rescue in Thailand, because I was part of rescue on Koh Tao for 2 years, and I was part of rescue here for 2.5 years, volunteering, not a job, volunteering. And
so what is that? What is the rescue? What is Rescue Koh Tao? What is that?
Well, Rescue Koh Tao and Rescue Pochitam, which I was part of here, is first person on the scene. Another thing I'd done was I got qualified as an EMT intermediate. So I was on the scene for car accidents, people come off their motorbikes, people sick at home in the ambulance, and picking people up and taking them to the hospital, player ban hospital.
That's great.
Yeah, so, yeah, it was good giving back. You know. Yeah,
it sounds like it would be very, you know, helpful for you and for others. Yeah. So Tommy J has a quick comment saying, Bad Badger has helped me with many questions about retirement. Stand-up guy. Yeah, I think you return all messages.
Yeah, he does. He has DM'd me, and I've replied to him, Tommy J. Yeah, and I hope I can help anybody out, really. As I said, if people ask me questions, I'll give them an honest answer. It may not be what they want to hear, but it's, you know, it's going to be honest for me. And if I can't answer, I won't bullshit. I'll say, can't answer. You know, I don't know, but I'll try and find out.
Yeah, and I feel like that's nice to know, especially when it comes to something that's big in America is medical insurance. So that's something I'm heavily researching now, because So talking about like telling the good news, the bad news, like, so that's a major expense for a lot of people. So you look at how much money you're going to save retiring in Thailand, but the medical expense could be a huge expense. So I feel like, to your point, it's best to know up front what you're getting into versus coming over and then having that surprise where you have to spend, $500 a month on healthcare. So that's good that you're telling people kind of the straight stuff. Big Fat Bessie just subbed to your channel as well. So I think that we're getting up there. And the alerts coming through.
I'm on an O visa originally and extended on the grounds of retirement. So I don't need medical insurance. It's the OA that you need that. But we have got medical insurance with, I won't go into who it is because I don't want people to think I'm telling them to go there or anything. There's, we have got medical insurance each. So, and I think it's quite, I think for me, I think it's a necessity really to have medical insurance.
Yeah, for sure. And there's been some vloggers that have kind of, experienced that firsthand, the expense around that. Daystate Fox is a great comment, though. He said he'd rather be retired in Thailand than looking out the window in a retirement home in his cold UK for $1,000 or £1,000 per week or €1,000. That's £1,000, right?
£1,000 a week. Wow.
Yeah, that's not good. And I just feel like, man, like warm weather, right? I feel like the body just it's more in recuperation mode when the warmer temperatures, the aches and pains don't get you as much.
Yeah, exactly that. I used to aches and pains. I mean, I've put my back out at the moment. I was doing bits in the garden, and about 4 or 5 years ago, I pulled my back, and so I've rested. And then yesterday, I thought it's great. I went out in the garden again, and so I've been on my back all day today, and I've got a back support on sort of thing at the moment. So a couple of days.
Yeah, back stuff is the worst stuff. You got to be careful in the garden. That's where you tend to tweak it. So just to tell you, I'm getting old. I was reaching for a T-shirt in my closet and I pulled my back out. I had to lay down for about 2 or 3 hours and it was bad the whole day. I'm thinking, Tony, how bad is my life getting that? Like I hurt my back just reaching for a T-shirt.
It happens.
But I got a question for you. So why did you choose to settle down in the area you're at now? I know there's so many different areas, the north of Thailand, central.
Yeah, we're 40 minutes from the gateway on the mainland side. So that's obviously where you cross over into Phuket. We're about an hour into Talang, about an hour and a half into Phuket Old Town from where we are. Right, the question is, we was on a motorcycle road trip when we lived on Koh Tao. So we come over on the night ferry up to Chiang Mai, done Mae Hong Son, done Pai, and then a friend of mine that I'd known in the UK said they were coming over into Phuket because they were building in Phuket in Talang. So he said, "Do you want to meet us down here?" And he said, when they were getting, I said, "Well, it's going to take us, like 4 days to get down from the top from Pai." So we came down to Phuket, and we met our friends and looking at the build, what they were doing, blah 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 blah. And then he said, "We're coming into Panga because that's where his wife's mum lives and sister." So we came into Panga, didn't have a clue really where it was. And for me, I think a place chooses you. And we knew that we wanted to come away from Koh Tao because we'd been there 5 years and I think we outgrew it. And also when you're on an island, again, like we spoke about insurance and medical, I had a motocross accident on Koh Tao and I got concussion and ended up in Koh Samui. And then that I think really was when Lisa said to me, we really need to think where we're living and accessibility. So we were going to move anyway. So we come to Panga with our friends. We fell in love with it. And the rest is history. Our friend found us a bit of land and we found a builder by luck, by judgment. And we fell in love with it, really. We love it. It's so different from when we lived on Koh Tao because there's a lot of people that pass through, backpackers, learning to dive. Where here, it's totally Thai. I think I've said before, there's no real Western influence. Our claim to fame is James Bond Island.
Yeah.
Koh Phangan, the floating Muslim village. That's about 10, 15 minutes from our place where you can access the boat to there. You can access it from Phuket as well, but it's closer to us. And that's pretty much it. There's a KFC and a pizza company. That's it. The rest is all Thai. And for us, this is what we like. This is what we like. And we can dip into Phuket. As I said, we can go to Ao Nang in Krabi in an hour and a half. Khao Lak is about 50 minutes away. We went there for Lisa's birthday. Yeah, so that's why we fell in love with that. We're central.
So you talked yeah, and I feel like, so that's great. I think you had some great decisions to make there based on like medical, like, so is there a hospital nearby, that kind of thing. Those are important considerations. But a question from Johnny, there is something happening, is around, you kind of being the first rescue. You know, you were there when the Thai boys in Chiang Rai got trapped in the cave, right?
I was here in Panga, and when I went up to rescue in the morning, and my friend, the guy there, showed me it on Facebook, and they see it, and from there, what I done is Miko, he's my friend on Koh Tao, Miko, and I messaged him and said, have you seen this? He said, yeah, we've already offered up our help. And Ivan and Miko, they've already offered up their help, and they had nothing back, but obviously as it progressed, it went up. The thing is, there were so many rescue units that went up there. Absolutely, I'm sure the people that saw it on the media, there were so many rescue units that went up there. I didn't go up there purely because you still got to rescue, you know, still got to maintain a rescue throughout Thailand where it is. So not everyone can go. And I know Miko and Ivan that were going up there, and they're totally qualified in that sort of stuff, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know if you followed it. Top guys they are, and they really helped out, as did all Thailand. It was a good thing that come together, and it was so good. A fantastic happy ending, really.
Yeah, I got to tell you, so that's where I definitely appreciated having Thai friends, because the American media here was like way behind on their coverage of it. You know, they were saying, so it sounds like they're going to be going into the cave today to try to rescue one of the boys. And I would message one of my Thai friends, yeah, they already got one out, they're going back for another. So I would tell my friends, hey, I'm ahead of the news. They've already got one boy out, they're going back for another. And the media in America is still reporting they're maybe looking to do something today, we don't know. So they were very far behind. It was nice having some people there to kind of give me updates around that. It was a very serious situation. I really, I was quite sad for a long time.
Yeah, it was. Well, it was a good, good ending, obviously. But it was a good thing that everyone pulled together and got the result they wanted in the end. And there was a lot of people involved in it. And just a big up to Thailand, really. You know, everybody was thinking the worst, obviously. But hey, just goes to show you, a little bit of faith, a little bit of confidence, and you can pull through.
Yeah, Carl D is asking, how long is my flight travel time to Thailand, and where do you land for your connection flight? Do I always use the same airline? So I travel between two airlines, Philippine Airlines or China Airlines. For Philippine Airlines, the transfer is in Manila. For China Airlines, it's in Taipei. It's essentially a 15-hour trip from San Francisco to either the Philippines or Taipei, and then about a 3-hour trip from Taipei or Manila to Bangkok. Door to door, if I walk out of my apartment and then walk into my hotel room in Pattaya or Bangkok, it's 27 hours. So it's a long one. It's a long one. I'm sure you don't miss those flights, do you, Tony?
No, I mean, we went back about just over a year ago. But no, I don't really. And for me now, when I go back to the UK, because we've got 6 grandchildren, and our 3 daughters live in England, and I've got a stepson that lives in Chiang Mai. That he's been there 9 years, teaches English. But when I'm in England for a month, towards the end of that month, I know that I need to come back to Thailand. What I say, I need to get home, because I feel so much better here. My lifestyle here is far superior to the lifestyle that I would have in the UK, and for most probably, well, it is a lot cheaper, really.
Yeah, and that's I mean, for me, looking at your videos, it really is just a confirmation that I'm on the right road to eventually land in Thailand for good, book that one-way trip ticket. Because a lot of people like yourselves are doing a great job of chronicling the day-to-day life in smaller towns in Thailand. So not Bangkok, kind of in the south of Thailand there. And I feel like, man, I got to tell you, so I don't know if you saw that video I posted on my Facebook group. I forget what the title of it is, but it's like a 2.5-minute video you did where you're kind of cruising around your motorbike. You have the elephant in the lake there, and just smile, man. And your happiness kind of comes through. And that's why I love watching your channel, because all the positive energy just comes out in all of your videos. So hats off to you and pat on the back.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. I mean, people obviously, I think considering what's gone on in the world and still is going on in the world, I think a lot of people, I think I said this before, that Thailand will move up a lot of people's lists. And for me is, if people want to come and live here, then come and stay in, get some ideas where you want to do, go and stay there for 3 months and rent. I mean, we rented on Kotel for 5 years and then stuff. So, when your retirement life is a totally different life to what the life you're living now. So, you've got to get rid of all them thoughts of what you're thinking when you're working, because when you retire, you've got more time. You can actually smell the grass, smell the orange juice, and so I would just say, come and rent somewhere for 2 or 3 months and then move around a little and find out where you want to live. Like, for us, we're happy here because we're pretty central. Phuket, Ao Nang, Krabi, Khao Lak, and if we want to dip into that, we can just dip into it and get a hotel for the night if we want to. But we come back home and it's sabai here. It's quiet, lovely, and I don't mind the boom boom stuff and stuff, but I don't want to live in it all the time, and that's just for me. That's just for me.
For sure. Yeah, no, that resonates. Gomar Hike has a question for you, though, around, tell us about England. Did you grow up in a big city or a farm? What was it like?
I grew up in Hertfordshire, in Watford. And that's where I was born, in Watford.
Is that a big city?
Yeah, it's a big town. It's not a city. I mean, it's about 25 miles from London, as a crow flies. So yeah, I worked for 37 years. Watford, I moved around, Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire. Born in 1900 and freezing to death. So yeah, I had a great childhood. I enjoyed growing up in England. It was good fun. I had some good friends, like most of us do, your child. I mean, I enjoyed England. It was really good. I don't like it the way it is now, but it's the same as a lot of places in the UK. Again, what I like about Thailand, it's not PC. You can come and you can just be you.
And I feel like that people don't understand that. I mentioned that to my American friends, like, yeah, you don't have to be PC in Thailand, just be you. Like, people don't take offense to things. And it's funny how over the years, Tony, just especially for me in America, you just kind of get reined in. Oh, I can't say that. I got to watch what I say. You stop talking. You stop talking so much, and you kind of lose your personality. And that's one thing I love in Thailand, is I can just be myself, and they won't take offense to anything. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that. Tommy J was asking if you have a regular doctor in Thailand, or do you have a hospital you go to? No?
Yeah, we've got a lot of clinics here in Panga, but there is a government hospital that I usually go and have my bloods done every 4 months because I'm a diabetic. I was a diabetic, but I know I'm in recession because of my diet and my lifestyle. But I go every 4 months, have my bloods done for the kidneys, HbA1c, triglycerides, everything like that. That's all I use, really. I don't really usually go to the doctors, but there is clinics here if I need them. Yeah.
Triple T is saying, I think many of us that have lived years of a big city life prefer the smaller towns in Thailand. The country life is the best. Do you find that to be true? Like, you like being kind of outside of the hustle and bustle?
Yeah, I mean, I say I'm about 5 minutes from the town, and they called Panga town Muang Panga a city. It's a typical Thai town. It's very, very long as you drive through it, and there's a million places to eat. And it's busy, but it's not what I would call like what most probably us Westerners would live in a big city with big, like big apartment blocks and stuff like that. I prefer living this way, for sure.
That's
nothing
great.
wrong with people who live in the city, nothing wrong with that.
I feel like Thailand has something for everyone, right? The big city, the country life, the medium-sized city, they got everything. Beauty and the Yeast,
That-
hello to you. Beauty and the Yeast was on our channel on the live show last week. He was awesome guest. I don't know if you caught that, Tony. That was good. But yeah, I feel like you picked a great area to retire in. I just feel, man, your videos just really showcase the home that you built, and then the area just seems like everyone's very friendly.
Yeah, they are. We've got some great Thai friends that I met through rescue. A lot of them are still with USAR, Urban Search and Rescue. These are the guys that cut you out of cars, do rope rescue. They pop round from time to time, or they'll cook cakes. Lisa and the ladies will go baking and cook cakes, which is a bit of a nightmare for me with the sugar and the cakes.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that, right?
I'll have a treat again, because you got to live, haven't you? You got to live.
Yeah, for sure. So I just want to wish you the best of luck with the channel. I feel like we've made a little bit of progress today. I would say anyone that's listening to this on the replay, just know that, he's got a lot of great videos on that channel. I love the channel. I subscribe to it. My mother subscribes to it. My friends, my family, they subscribe to it. So let's try to support someone who's doing some great things in Thailand. So not only is he just making these great videos, day-to-day life, but he's also supporting the local community with the first rescue that you did as well. Like, hats off to you for doing that, giving something back. That's awesome. So I think we all owe it to him to subscribe to the channel for those reasons alone. But we are kind of coming to the end of our time. So I wanted to thank you for making time, staying up late for me, because I know it's late there. It's after 11 o'clock at night.
Thank you for re-inviting me back, Richard. Honestly, I love it. It's great fun.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Say hello to your wife. Tell her we said good evening to her. And
I will.
yeah, good luck with 1,000 subscribers. Let's get you to 1,000. You're so close.
Yeah, we're close. We get there in the end.
Awesome. All right, well, have a good rest of your night. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Yeah, great guest. I love having him on. I think it just gives us a great perspective on life and what you want to do towards the end. Like, do you want to retire in your home country? Do you want to go somewhere else? He's got a great quality of life. One of the things I love that he talked about was the fact that he used to be diabetic, but he's no longer, because he's changed his diet. Just, I hear that over and over again. People that came to Thailand with medical issues no longer have those medical issues. So I'd love to hear that, because I feel like, man, it's lower stress in Thailand. The food is much better. You can kind of walk around because it's not going to be cold and raining on you. I just feel like it's a better quality of life, which is great. So I really loved having him on there, which is great. Teacher Thomas saying, Tom, soon my friend, can't wait together in Rayong. Johnny is saying, lovely guy. He's a great guy. I liked your comment about the bald the bald badger. That was kind of funny. So just so you know, Johnny, I kind of had my finger on that comment for a couple of times. Like, should I post that? I don't make the guy feel bad, but I had to post just because I thought it was funny, and I kept kind of laughing to myself. I realized he's gonna wonder what the heck I'm laughing about if I don't post this comment. So yeah, I just thought that was great. Robert Mack saying, bad badger retired in Thailand. Cheers, mate. Yeah, I would just say, great channel. And again, I've kind of gotten away from telling people to subscribe to channels. I really just want to tell you, like, I've enjoyed the videos on that channel a lot, because I'll tell you what, during this time when we're all pretty much on lockdown, we can't travel anywhere, it's nice to see someone else having a great time cruising around. You see the day-to-day life in Thailand, and it just makes you feel good about your life. It makes you realize, like, I'll get back there. This is just a bump in the road. Eventually we'll all get back and start living our best lives. If it's either a vacation there, or if some of you are looking to kind of relocate there permanently, that will happen soon. And I would say what I'm starting to do now is I used to check the Thai news just about every day. I would check in the morning, what's going on there, what's happening in Pattaya, what's happening in Jomtien and Bangkok. I kind of got away from doing that so much because there was a lot of depressing news there, and I really just started focusing on, working hard, making notes, my goals, what I wanted to do. Now I have some goals that will probably be revealed on the part 10 of the Richard Returns to Thailand coming out soon. So I'm actually currently working on that. I'm recording some B-roll and some A-roll later today and tomorrow for that video. I'm really excited about that. That will be the end of the Richard Returns series, part 10. However, you'll see that it will be kicking off a new series. So as we kind of close one door, another one opens. So I'm quite excited about that. And then Carl D asking if I've not heard anything from Pariah. I have not. I've reached out to him a couple of times, but he's busy. I know he has his own business that he kind of started, so I know that he's probably heads down in that business. But again, if he's listening today, I would just say, open invitation to come on the show. Ping me on email, messenger, on leave me a comment on one of the YouTube videos. Would love to have him on the show. He's been a tremendous inspiration to my channel, as a lot of you may have known. And then we got a comment there saying that Chayapum, great province, super scenic. And Teacher Thomas saying, Alpha, was good to catch up with you. I'll be checking out the channel. He's got some great inspirational videos just about like how to live your best life, which I love. I always love to, check out those. And I will tell you, so I checked out a channel recently where he had a guest on talking about when he started traveling around. He was in college and he went on one of those international trips that was kind of sponsored to the college. Guess what? This guy never returned back to America. He went abroad somewhere in Southeast Asia, and he never went home. He actually called home to his friends at his apartment and said, just sell everything. You can keep it. I'm not coming back. And he never came back to America. He had no money in his pocket. He just became very frugal, worked at hostels, this kind of thing. And what I took from that, the long-winded story that he told around traveling, was that you can either wait to come to Thailand and retire when you're 70 or 75, or you can make plans to do it now. Why wait? Like I said earlier, the average life expectancy after retirement is 7 years in America. People live an average of 7 years after they retire. Why wait to move to Thailand? Why not look at making the change now? You can get if you're young and you're still working, maybe you get a job in Singapore or in Bangkok where you work. Maybe you find a job where you can work remotely and work in Thailand. They have great internet in Thailand. That's one thing I can attest to, great internet. So maybe you look at making the move sooner than later. I just feel like the more you delay things, the more you kind of get used to the mediocrity in your home country. So I would just say, look at making that move today versus waiting until you retire. So I'm going to kind of wrap up things a little bit, but I wanted to thank my guest Alpha Interactions today, which was awesome, and Bad Badger retired in Thailand. I really appreciated those interviews today. And I would say, hang on, don't click away, don't exit out of the live stream yet, because I do have a special thank you that I wanted to use for everyone that kind of has been on the show the last couple of weeks. All my guests that have been here, please consider subscribing to my channel, Richard Travel, and I will see you on the next live show. Thanks, everybody.
Welcome to Soy Cowboy. I'm just coming to a bar. It's called the Oasis. It's on Soy Cowboy.
The heck
How
is
you doing?
this?
Got it all going on.
Can you hear me okay?
I got you 5 by 5.
5 by 5.
Hi, Richard. How's it going?
It's going great.
Yeah, for me, this was kind of a last minute thing, so I won't even tell you if I'm wearing pants.
Your Thai language.
Wash your hands and do your push-ups, old man. Literally walk out Savannah Boom Airport to get your taxi, and it's bang! And that's the first time you get the Thailand smell as well, and it's like, yeah, this is it. Here I am. I'm here.